So what I'm saying
don't
is,
even want to. I'm not going to entertain this conversation because you're going to say everybody should have a chat. Look, if you want to get to where you want to get, you know what you need to do,
and that's what they need to do.
If you're gonna,
so they're building their audience. They're on social media building their audience. But all they've got is the same way me and you had some dry up mixer and turntable and a small selection of records. That did not stop us from going on the radio and doing what we were doing.
But yeah, man, what else is popping? Otherwise, from that,
I've seen a couple tweets recently, and it kind of caught my eye still. So one of them was about the live event they've done in Liverpool last weekend. Did you hear about that? So obviously, you never heard about it. So basically, as we record this. We've been on lockdown for how long? No events have run for how long? So they basically, in Liverpool last weekend, they trialled a live event with either 5,000 or 3,000 people. And they said they're not doing any social distancing. They're not doing no masks, no nothing. I think you just take a test before you go there. And that's it. But it was a science experiment. It wasn't about the event. It was purposely put on, funded, everything as a science experiment to see, okay, how can we now deliver events in this time we're living in now?
Yeah.
And it just got me thinking about, obviously, entertainment based in terms of what we talk about and whatever. And I just thought, how do you see the future of live events, moving forward? How do you see it panning out? And do you think it's going to ever be how it was?
It's not gonna be how it was because times change. Everything just evolves into a certain kind of way. I've said it to everybody. I said that where we're going now is literally pay-per-view. Like, you got two options: you either watch it live or it's pay-per-view.
Watch it live and you go there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always been pay-per-view. There's always been pay-per-view events. That's always happened. What I'm saying is, outside of the pay-per-view, how do you think live in-person events are going to pan out?
You're gonna have to pay a lot of money. That's what it is. It's just a case of if you want to be there live, you have to pay. If not, you just do pay-per-view. The thing about and I'm going to go back and forth, so hopefully this is going to make sense, because somebody was making a whole conversation, and the reason why things are going to go to a pay-per-view thing is because the numbers are growing excessively. The
numbers of people watching it
of going out was getting absolutely insane. Like, you can go to the reason why pay-per-view is going to work is because the numbers were getting too big. So if you go to let's say it's Glastonbury, you pay your money to go to Glastonbury, 100,000 people.
Wow.
What would happen is, like, you would pay your money and then you can go to the front of the stage. Front of the stage, you can see everything. Cool. If you're that far back, they would have screens.
Yeah.
And you would be there, but you'd be literally watching on the screen.
Yeah.
And then you could go further back and they would have another set of screens.
Yeah. Sorry, just before you move on, do they have like is it partitioned? So if I pay a certain amount, I'm guaranteed I'm in that first
I
300
honestly
people.
Cannot tell you that.
Or everyone pays the same price and every man for himself? If I get to the front, I get to the front.
I don't know about that. But it's kind of like the same thing. Like, if you would go to I'm thinking like a normal concert, then you would pay a certain amount of money to go to the front row. You would pay a certain amount of money to be at block C, seat number 25, but you got a screen there. So you're there, but you're not seeing what's going on.
Yeah, it would have to be
controlled. Further back, and there's another screen, with about 50,000 people. They're there, but they're not technically there.
Yeah, they're in
My
a different
thing
field
is like,
somewhere else, just watching it.
yeah,
on
my
screen.
thing is like the way how they're gonna narrow it down is, you see these corporate companies like the big events people, your Rock Nations, your O2 academies, who already, I think they're taking over even our Civic Hall. These big corporate companies are going to take over the little venues and then do the whole pay-per-view thing. So if I have a small venue,
Yeah.
it's like I have my house. This is just try and just figure it out.
No, it makes sense.
I've got my house.
I get it.
I got my yard,
Yeah, it
right?
makes sense.
And I've got David Rodigan. My place or my venue holds 300 people.
Yeah.
David Rodigan. You can pay £300 live David Rodigan.
Yeah.
Maybe do a little free food, free drink, sit down conversation with him live, and then he's going to do his performance. Or you can just watch the stream for 20 quid.
Yeah.
And you got two options. You either want to be there or you want to watch it. And it's the same with any other kind of situation.
Yeah.
Glastonbury and
that's smart.
Anything else is going to be the same. It's like Glastonbury is bigger because it's BBC. They've got sponsorship, so they can afford to go on BBC iPlayer. But I'm talking about like if I had a club now, and say a rock band from Wolverhampton is like, yo, I'm up and coming rock band and a blah blah blah. Got 70 fans. I'll be like, all right, cool. Get your 70 people them to pay to come and watch you, but we're gonna stream it.
Yeah, and charge
to a certain amount of people, and you pay. Now, you have to understand when you stream something, you got to understand marketing because you got to market to the world. If you can market your thing to the world, you're gone, you know.
You make more off that pay-per-view than you would off.
You kill everything.
People.
I've told every sound man, I says, brethren, you don't understand pay-per-view and you don't understand what you've got as the term of sound system culture that people want to listen to.
So let me ask you this. It's in exactly the same vein. So you see like the Ninja Man and Beanie Man clash, the verses.
Yeah.
The Bounty Killer and the Beanie Man.
Bounty and Beanie Man. Yeah.
Would you have paid $9.99 to watch that live?
Yeah.
Would you have paid
I would have
$14.99 to watch that live? Let's say they're done. You see like how they've done the Instagram thing. If they're done, say a couple leading up to it, 6 weeks of previews like that, of them two just going exactly how they've done it on the live thing. They've done a preview leading towards the main event. Would you pay $14.99 to watch that event? After seeing that clip of that video of them two going through it? Maybe,
but the difference is because of the platform that it was on. That platform is so big. Like if you're saying if it was a independent kind of person.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like regardless of who or what, as it is as it is, if they would have done some little marketing leading up to it, would you have paid $14.99 to watch that? Versus
because if it was me, because they could afford to put it out there like that.
Yeah.
If it was me, I would have charged like £2.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't know what I'm trying to gauge is the power of the art, the pull of the artist, the demands. You know what I mean? Would you pay?
It's the opportunity.
Would you have paid $14.99 to watch that on your television broadcast in HD?
No, I wouldn't stifle the people them like that.
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you as the promoter. I'm saying you as the viewer, as the person who enjoyed that event. Would you have paid, knowing the vibe that event gave you and the experience it had, in hindsight, knowing that it was going to be that good and that entertaining? Would you have paid? So you've already said you'd pay $9.99. Would you have paid $14.99?
Yeah, I would have dropped £10.
Would you have paid $14.99 for it? Or would you wait 2 weeks and watch it on YouTube and miss the chance to watch that live?
I would have probably paid for it just because then I would
$14.99.
have a because I'd be able to have the opinion quicker than anybody else.
Yeah.
I
Would you have paid $19.99 for it?
You're just going up with price to say how much would I pay for something, and
So
the more you go up,
work
it's
with
like,
me. That's what I'm saying. We're on a journey.
would I pay £20?
Would you have paid $19.99 to watch that?
For what it was?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
experience.
'cause I can afford to.
Okay.
I can afford to. Not
Okay,
everybody
so
else
let's
can
keep
afford
moving.
to do that.
Where's your cap? Would you have paid $29.99?
No,
Okay,
I would
so-
have gone 19.99.
So,
That's it.
so we've just done some market research there. Then, do you get what I'm saying? So you would pay. Would you pay? You'd pay $14.99. You says that's it. That's your max. $29.99.
No, I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't pay £30 for that.
$24.99.
No, you see what you're doing. I'm trying to diffuse it. Trying to.
Go on, say. All we're doing is gauging what's the value of it.
not-
So to the general viewer, to the general customer, what's the value of that?
All right, then for the value,
I
of it,
wouldn't have
okay.
paid. I wouldn't have paid $14.99 for it. To be honest, I probably would have considered $9.99. But any of them, even if it was like the Wu-Tang one, so when they done Ghostface and Raekwon, when they done the go on.
The thing is, they gave it to you. So because
Yeah.
you've got it like that and you've seen it, and then you look at it, you'd be like, well, I won't pay for that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, if none of that was out and they're going to do it, and you have to remember where it started from. It just started from Swiss and Timberland on some Instagram.
I know exactly
the
where it
whole
started
thing
from.
was a shebang anyway. Like it was like,
I know where it started from.
considering how much you guys are worth, it could have been 10 times better. They just tried a thing.
Yeah, and it worked. You know what I mean? They've just
And
sold
it
it for how
worked.
much million?
So when you see it work like that, to what you're gonna then when it's like that, then you're gonna say, oh, okay, we're gonna do it now, and now you're gonna pay £29. It's like
You
miss me
wouldn't.
with that. But at the same time,
So okay, so if they
Would
done
I-
versus,
the reason why
if they says boom,
it doesn't matter who it
we're
is.
doing
It
we're
doesn't matter
doing
who it is.
versus 2.0. I'm not saying who. I'm saying we've got a new. We're Triller now. Boom, boom, boom. It's different, and they started doing pay-per-views. And it was. All I'm trying to say is, what's the price point that you would say, yeah, man, I would pay that.
it's just
to
I don't,
that. Do you know what I mean? So
I understand what,
okay,
I
so
understand what
the
you're saying.
next
And
one they've got a Budjo versus Capleton on Triller. You can broadcast it live on your HD TV, HD sound. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'd pay.
Would you
I'd
pay
pay $20. I
You
paid
pay
$20.
$19.99 for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I know that when I watch it, I don't want to hear anybody because of the way how I am on social
Yeah,
media
yeah.
or whatever. Can't tell me nothing, Bridget.
So it
Because
can
the
work
first
then.
thing I say,
It
you
can
watch
work.
it.
Once you've got
Definitely.
once you've
But then so I want to watch it for myself, so I have my own personal opinion on it.
yeah.
Where everybody else would be like, they ain't paying for that, and then they will see some
Yeah.
clips out there and then make up their own judgment on the whole thing.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So
yes, I would.
with
yeah.
verses, and again going back to the live events, and you're saying venues, partnering small venues. That's genius. That's the right thing to do, because you imagine how many small venues are struggling right now, like on the verge of death.
They're all gonna get
get me?
taken over by big
by
companies.
exactly. But what I'm saying is, so then
The
the entrepreneur mind in me is like, yo, buy a venue, and
I've already
set
said
it
that
up.
to people.
Set it up with broadcast quality.
Facilities.
It's not about
Yeah.
how many people can come in here. It's not about whatever else, the bar and everything. Forget all that. It's about, can we stream this live at HD quality?
Yeah.
Multiple cameras,
And not
high, fast broadband and all that, and then use it as a venue. So you hire the artist to come in, or you have an agreement with the artist, and they're doing the pay-per-view events from your venue.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, like I says, and that's not just about. It's not really like a budget. What they did was kind of like they can do it because they will get big sponsorships and this. That. I'm talking about, like he says, I got a club right now,
Yeah.
and I know sounding and whatever. Blood, come on my live stream, You two are gonna clash. If you want to come and watch it, just like how I've seen Soundman them in doing a live stream, nobody's there. I'm thinking, so imagine you did that there now, and you says, out of your 1,000 people who are watching, considering where you are, you can get 60 people in here.
Yeah.
So we charge you to come, and so you can have a table, a couple of drinks in that, and you can watch it live. Everybody else has to pay for it.
That's covering your cost for the night. You're good for the night. You get
then
you
you're watching on live stream. These two sounds are playing. You know there's tables, camera pans around. Blah, 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 blah. Raw, I need to be there, you know, man. You've just changed it. You've changed it up now. Now, do you want to come to my venue? So you don't technically need 500 people in your place. No. You just need a good sized place.
Yeah, man.
Your marketing is how you sell the event.
Yeah. And
if it's a sound system event and you understand marketing, you can sell that. It doesn't have to be £20. You sell it for £5. If you can get and know how to market your thing and spend so much money in saying, yo, we can do this, free sound system clothing, blah, 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 and shove it out there. What's going to happen? You're going to get a couple of thousand people and you win. You wait till Beyonce and these people then. We're going to be live at the flipping so-and-so.
Well, I remember. If you want to
watch it, it's £45 to watch it on a platform.
Yeah. And 1,500.
What do you think?
1,500 to see it live. I remember one time I was listening to One Extra, probably about two years back, and Beyonce was doing a live show, her and Jay-Z, and they were saying how you can get VIP tickets. Yeah, VIP, you know, £750 for a VIP ticket to go to the show. Or was it $850? It was like $850 or something. This VIP ticket put you in a designated area that's closer to the stage. So you're just in a boxed off area that's closer to the stage. So you got priority seats. It gives you access to the VIP bar. So this ain't nothing to do with no Beyonce or nothing, you know. You ain't seeing her. You ain't touching. You ain't nothing like that. You're just in VIP areas with other people that paid $850.
None of this is different from football. You got three options, brethren. You want the box?
Yeah.
You pay for the box.
Stand.
You want to be in the ground?
Yeah.
Or you want to buy it on Sky? You got three options, brethren. There's three price plans. The only thing that hasn't done is in local music and what musicians are doing now, like artists, sound systems, local bands. If you've got a fan base and you want to put it out, it's a venue that should be able to provide you with a venue that also broadcasts live, so you can sell tickets not only to your people then, but you sell another outlet of watching what you're doing. I'm seeing sound systems and DJs playing all night. So, but you're not charging people. You ain't charging them £1. But you got 5,000 people logging onto you every single week.
Do any of them use the Cash App thing?
Huh?
Do any of them use the Cash App option? Because I see a lot of people.
Yeah, that's begging, isn't it? Well, PayPal me.
Yeah.
Look, nah, either you have set up properly.
The question I'm asking is, do you know of anyone who is using that? That's the question I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so
people got, like, when they go
live, they play music
now.
Yeah. And at the bottom of the screen, it would say Cash App. You see, I mean, at least that. Now, whether you agree with it or not, the point I'm making is that's one way to monetize what you're doing. You might not think it's the best method, but it's better than them just doing it for nothing. There's an option there, just like a man who would play in a bar. You know what I mean? Let's say a Manhattan or wherever. You know what I mean? You go to a certain back in the day. You go to a certain bar, and there's a man in the corner playing some music. He might not be getting paid, but because he's there, he's playing the music. Now, if a man wants to drop a little £2 on him as a little tip, you know what I mean?
Like
buy our drink, brethren. Do you get me?
Yeah, I guess so. But I think
it's better than nothing.
I guess so.
I mean, I see a ton of people doing it on YouTube. So there's people who, you know what I mean, a certain topic's happening. They will come on and talk about the topic. And throughout the video, they're saying, yeah, man, Cash App, you get me, or Super Chat or whatever. and it's just a tip.
Yeah.
It's just a boom of $5. I watched one before, and I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the man must have made about $1,000.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
There's people that's doing it. There's,
grand.
don't get me wrong.
Just
I'm
from
not
one
saying
live
like
stream?
I would not. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do. I've seen there's man out there that has put that up on
Yeah.
there, and I've seen man get.
And what I would say
paid
as well is that viewers are probably quicker to drop a tip in a jar than to sign up for your Patreon. The Patreon is a commitment, and I'm not saying it's either or either. Both options should be available. You should have the option to either go and subscribe to my Patreon, go and do some pay-per-view business, and also when I go live, boom, you've got the super chat and you've got the Cash App, because all those revenue streams all contribute to the same pot.
Yeah.
So they all work together.
I hear that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with it. I think probably for me is you see, I don't disagree with it, but what I don't like is when, especially with lockdown came in and that, I was very, when you just see random DJs popping up and say, yo, Cash App me thing. I'm like, blood, you're in the kitchen. You've put no effort into even me like,
yeah,
like wash, like put some effort into the fact that, okay, then yo, I can see the man putting in some effort.
Yeah.
This man's just in his kitchen on decks on the sink. I've said it already, man. Get out jars on the radiator.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
Cash App.
you can't knock the hustle though, man.
Fix up the thing, brethren.
You can't knock the hustle because you can't knock the hustle.
Yes, you can.
You can't. Man.
Well,
you
then we're gonna
Because
have to like
every
no, because what we're gonna do now is when you say can't knock the hustle, then everybody's fine because we can't knock the hustle. There has to be a thin line with saying, brethren,
why though?
Come on, man.
Why?
Because the same. All right, then if we go back to the same situation then of when they man they thief your idea,
which
and they
guys?
use your beats and then created that whole situation.
Yeah.
Do we knock their hustle? You ain't having it, brethren. Don't do that. Because you're
That's
crossing
different.
the borderline.
No,
of,
that's different, man. That's different.
it's the same thing.
not-
They
it's
was
not.
on a hustle. They
Nah,
tried to
it's not.
use your.
That's a different
platform
hustle. That's
to
stealing
hustle out the
content.
thing.
If I'm DJing, if me and you've got the same set of records, do you get what I'm saying? And you've got your Chris set up, broadcasting with your mic and your sound effects and whatever, and I ain't got that. I've just got my iPhone on my windowsill and I'm playing my little decks. Do you get me? I've got to do what I need to do to get to your level. Do you get what I'm saying? And every what am I saying? Every mickle makes a muckle.
Then it's like
Every £10.
I don't know.
So what they're meant to do? If that's all they've got, what they're meant to do?
I do better.
What they're trying to do better?
Get back to the
The little stream they've got. You know what I mean?
We're gonna keep going. What's gonna happen is we're gonna have these conversations where it's okay. Man's trying a thing.
And that's what it is. So what?
Allow him.
You can't try a thing.
Well, guess what? I don't do that. I can't.
But that's you.
Try a thing.
That's you,
But
though.
then-
So, okay. So, again, let's go. You see what it is?
I'm not gonna go down this lane. You know,
No, man,
because
we need to go
what
down the lane.
Because what
Why are
you're
you scared
saying
to go
is
down the
like
lane for?
everybody because what you're trying to make out is like everybody's comfortable. Yeah, he's trying a thing.
So that's wrong.
No, but you're just not on that level.
So
to
they're
be
not
asking
saying
for a Cash App or
No, man.
anything.
Nah.
You're gonna miss
So-
out. You see what you're gonna.
All
What
right.
you're gonna do
So
is miss
okay.
out.
Let's go.
Same conversation.
Let's bring it to a different. Take it out of
Brethren.
music. Yeah. Let's take it out of music. When you go places like flipping, even I was going to say Jamaica, but even in London, when you see the man on the side of the road with his water bottle with washing up liquid and water in there, and he's squeezing it on your windscreen and wiping it off and asking you for a little change, he must wait until he's got a car wash. He's doing what he can do to get by. That's what he's got.
I know. You know what?
So what I'm saying is-
I'm not going to entertain this conversation because you're
Why?
going to say everybody should have a chat. Look, if you want to get to where you want to get, you know what you need to do.
And that's what they
If
need
you
to
can-
do.
if you're gonna-
So they're building their audience. They're on social media building their audience.
But
all
then
they've got
you-
is
you-
the same way me and you had some dry up mixer and turntable and
No,
a small
no,
selection
no,
of
it's-
records.
no,
that
no,
did not
no,
stop
no,
us from
no.
going on the radio and doing what we were doing. We'd done what we could. Imagine Frontline Radio. The first time I went to Frontline Radio, it was the most ghettoest setup I've ever seen in my life. My setup at my yacht, I was 14 years old, 15. and the setup I had in my yard, in my bedroom, was better than what they had broadcasting. But it was frontline radio. I was privileged to say I can go on there. You brought me on there. Do you get what I'm saying? But so what you're saying? Know your place. Like, don't start broadcasting until you got better equipment. Every man starts with what he's got.
What you saying? All right, but that's fine. Okay, then just leave it at that, innit? I just never started like that. I just came,
and every
out
man's
as being
different,
as best as I possibly could be.
And that's what
So
they're
I just
doing.
guess that I'm just
They're coming out as best as they can be. And if that means an iPhone balancing on the windowsill and he's got his little setup and he's playing music, why should he not ask if his audience are feeling him, why should he not ask them to cash up him a little tip? Yo, drop me a tip.
all right then.
You can't knock the hustle, man. He's
I
because
don't. Okay. That's.
I'm not asking for you to.
I
I'm not
really
asking
have
you to agree
nothing-
with me. It's just, you know what I mean. It is what it is. I'm not asking you to agree with me.
Mm.
But what I'm saying is, you
You
can't.
wouldn't
You
agree.
can't knock the
You
man who's
wouldn't
doing that.
agree if it was a DJ producing songs and just taking off and teething off all the things that you're doing.
That's
all the things
different,
that
no.
you put in.
That's
All
different.
right then. So it's different.
Because
so it's
it's-
different.
we're not
It's so
talking about
different that
stealing
you don't
content.
have- Okay.
We're not talking about stealing content. If that's okay, so if that same brother who is broadcasting on his phone on a windowsill,
Tony,
on his
listen,
mom, on
man,
his
listen,
kitchen
here
sink,
what. We're just in different kind of levels of where you want to reach. I would never be able to put myself out there unless I know my thing is at least some point 30. I'm not going to just jump
So
on
what-
the thing.
okay, so
and
what-
jump on
what
the
makes
bandwagon
it-
thing. So if you think
where does a certain level decline to? Where does it not become 30?
make some effort in what you're doing, and also when what you're doing,
Yeah.
respect the craft.
So at
Don't
what,
just jump on the thing.
okay, so at what point is a
look,
craft
if you're gonna look,
not
we're not. There's not.
Because it's easy to it's easy to throw that out there. A man could be listening to this now, yeah, and part of the conversation has inspired him to say, "Boom, I want to get on this DJ." Yo, listening to them two, man. Yo, I want to get on my DJ thing. Them man started out in youth club and they was getting paid patty and cocoa bread and a little £5 and a £3 and petrol money. And
I
whatever.
wasn't. I was getting paid more than what DJs get.
But that wasn't always the case,
What
though.
I'm trying to say is
that wasn't
I
always the
put
case,
in-
though. You started somewhere. There was a time where you played for cocoa bread and patty. Don't make out like that wasn't the case. You never played for
didn't.
free. Oh, shut up, man. You never played for free.
But
Have you ever played for
okay.
free?
I played for free.
Okay, so let's not
Up
make out
until
like that
now.
wasn't the case. That was the case. Everyone starts where they
So
start.
Tony, hear
So
what
I'm
you
saying
do.
to
right?
you, at
You
what
defend-
point does
you
it become
defend,
not
and
30?
You just be the person that just wants to defend anybody who wants to try a thing because they're trying a thing.
I'm not doing that.
If that's
Why am I-
that's what you're doing, it's like
No, you're
anybody
trying to
can
put me in a
just
box.
do it. Try it, man.
You're trying to put me in a box.
You put yourself in the box.
I haven't.
You just
You've
said-
created a box and trying to put me in it. I'm saying if there's a youth or whoever, and that's all they've got,
Look,
that at what point you're saying, oh, at least try a thing. He's trying a thing. He's got his iPhone. So previously he says, you know what? I ain't broadcasting this until I get rid of my BlackBerry. As soon as I get my iPhone now.
I'm not.
As soon as I get my iPhone now, I'm broadcasting.
It might sound cool for you, but let me tell you something. Well, cool. You go and do that. I don't come with some kind of substance and some kind of effort, and I
Okay.
can clearly see
So
whether a
what's-
sound or a DJ is
Yeah.
making the effort.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say everybody can just come and
Yeah.
jump.
And I'm
on
not
this
saying
thing.
that at all. I'm not saying anyone. Someone who's never DJ before in their life is just going to come up and say, boom, I'm a DJ, and they're playing songs off.
DJ, you could.
Spotify.
I know DJs and soundman who have been playing for 20 odd years, and when they go live, and I'm saying, Bridget, what are you on? Is that's where you're at? If you can't be
Yeah.
up there with the best of them,
But that's
miss me with
different.
that triating
Okay,
thing.
but that's
I'm
different.
not on that.
Because the way you pitched it is like an up and coming DJ, and that's all he's got. If that's the level he's on, he's trying a thing. The same way we would, go and buy 60-minute TDK tapes and burn and copy them, do a little mix, put it on the tape, photocopy the cover. Do you get me? Handwritten cover and photocopy it, and trying to sell a tape for £2, £3, £4, £5. That
You're
was the
talking
level.
about a different generation. You're talking about a totally different generation.
But I'm saying
They-
we
they
worked
all-
with what we had.
everything.
We worked with what we had. We done the best with what we
And
had.
what do they have now? Okay, then. So the best of what we had then. Look at the work ethic of what we have now. Look what you got now. You got iPhone. You can stream to the world.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be like, yo, that's cool.
So the question I'm asking is,
That's not cool.
What part of it makes it not cool? Like, so
When you put the exact same effort as what you just said, get the TDK tape, do the printing, do the same thing. Don't just string up and just be, I'm here and I'm better than everybody
So what's
else.
missing?
And this and the other.
So the
no
string up-
marketing. There's no nothing behind it. No, there's nothing. It's just you, and we just supposed to accept you're trying to thing. That doesn't just wash with me. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting anybody who is.
Yeah.
But there's a certain level where my eyes will be like, raw. He's trying to thing.
Yeah, I don't disagree with your hype. Do you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean?
I'm not
Like,
here
there's that-
disagreeing with you. I'm trying to understand. And again, more for the youth who's watching this to not discourage them. Do you get what I'm saying? Like to say you've got to have this before you can even start. Nah, that's not the case.
I'm not.
Because I agree 100%. If we take this out of this context and put it in the case of, we spoke about it before. Somebody turning on Instagram, doing an Instagram live with someone else and saying they've got a podcast. To me, that's not a podcast. You're having a conversation. Just call it what it is. Do you get what I'm saying? Just you haven't got a podcast. You're having a conversation online. Call it what it is. A podcast is something specific.
Exactly. So when you string up your little iPhone in your kitchen and you play music, you can DJ. You know what I mean? And I can't be so super gas over that.
Yeah.
I need to see somebody who's like, okay, then in order for me to go live, I need to have a backdrop, need to sort out my social media.
Like I said, I don't agree with none of that.
I need to at least build an audience.
Yeah, I don't disagree with none of that.
I'll come out with something, you know what I mean? But rather than just come out, and I'm not just talking. It's not really even a DJ thing, you know. It's about everything else. There's whatever business that you're going to come out with now. You can't just say, "Oh, look at I'm just doing this." The amount of people them since I did Sound System Clothing, all of a sudden start print T-shirt and clothing. I'm like, fam, you don't understand fashion. You don't understand the seasons. You don't understand. Have you ever thought about like the colors of the season, how seasons change?
Yeah.
You're trying to sell a hoodie in summer. You know what I mean? You're trying to sell snapbacks in the winter, but you got you've got to. I can't like say, he's trying to think. No, you're not. You're just wasting my time. Like, just missing me with all that, man. You haven't put any thought or effort, just dashing it out there and hoping for the best. When there's people out there where you could even like say, "Yo, raw, see what he's doing," and understand. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but they've got to learn.
Figure it out before you.
They've got to learn.
Yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, in a social media world where before us. The way how they have to figure it out is 10 times, 25, 50 times less than how we had to figure it out. Yeah. So when I see somebody just come with something, I'm like, really? I've seen people who have businesses, and I'm thinking, you just took a couple of pictures and you have a business and you haven't trademarked anything, you don't copyright nothing, you just got a business and a price list. Nothing behind it, you know what I mean? So I understand trying, but at least put some kind of effort into be like, okay, I'm really trying a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to try a thing, no, man. Sometimes you have to try a thing.
You always have to think that look a bit bigger than just try a thing. Because if you try a thing and it work, what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go after that?
Then you
really don't have
invest,
a plan B.
like...
No, you're gonna struggle and your thing will flop. You will try a thing, and when it blows up in your face, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, but I didn't really understand."
I don't agree with that.
This and that, and marketing and orders, and you know what I'm saying. And then it just goes big, and then you can't keep up with what the thing that you was trying. I've seen it happen many times. I've seen people come out with stuff and ask them 3 months, 4 months down the line, they're not there. Why? Because it blew up so big. They didn't think of plan B.
Example.
And those are those.
I need an example.
I'm not gonna put anybody out
Yeah, I'm
there
not
like
saying
that.
put anyone out,
I've
but I'm
seen
saying like give me an example. Like I can't think of
I've seen,
anyone
I've
who.
seen, I've seen man. Well, I'm talking about local people who said,
Yeah.
"Yo, hey, I'm doing this. Look, watch."
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
so
cool.
sorry. You're saying the triad thing became so successful that it failed.
They didn't become so successful. They built it to a platform where things could go on, and then they just ran out of funds. It was just a big, fantastic idea, and then they didn't realize that in order to this run, that you need staff. You need to, you have to pay electricity for this place. And there's a rent. You ain't thought about your marketing and that. It's just like, nah, I didn't think about that, and it just dwindles.
Mm.
You can try a thing, but you've got to really like think, I'm going to try this. And then when it works, I'm going to go, yes, sir. And then from there, so it's going to go, yes, sir. And if it doesn't, you got to have a plan B to say, okay, then it can either calm down and we can keep it going, but then we're going to go and move here. But if you have something and you try it, and because you've put so much effort in your try it thing that it works, you're like, oh, flipping out. You know what I mean? You're all over the place. Now you're trying to give people and show people false promises because you're trying to keep up with the trend that you promised them.
But that's business though. That's standard.
It's not very good business.
It's standard business. Like you do as much as you can with the means you have until you can't do it anymore, and then it's like listen. What I'm saying is every business growth is based on a bigger problem. So, for example, you could say, I'm going to start selling trainers to my friends. I'm going to go, I've got a plug somewhere and I can get trainers on the cheap. I'm going to start selling them to my friends. And I go and get a pair for myself and I say, boom, I got 2 size 9s here. Sell them off, make back my money. It's like you've got to get to that point to grow, and then you realize, do I want to do this or not? Do I want to take this? Because the next level is boom. Now I need a van because that many people want these trainers. I can't even fit them in the boot of my car. Now I've got a problem. Do I want to invest $2,500 in getting a van? That's a bigger problem to have, and it's like you got to make a decision. Do you want to do it or not? If it's like, yeah, man, I believe in it, I'm going to do it. You spend the money, you buy the van. Now you can get more trainers. Boom. Next thing you know, that's full up. Now I need storage. So it's like, raw, okay. This is now a bigger level. I've got to pay for the van. Now I've got to pay £75 a week, £85 a week for the storage unit. Do I really want to commit to this? You then make a decision. Do you know what I'm saying? So business growth is based on outgrowing your current situation. And then before you know it, you got storage warehouse up and down the country. You got, instead of you driving a van, you got other people driving a van for you. Do you get what I'm saying? Every growth is based on, we can't do this like this anymore. We need to change. Okay, what do we need to do? Boom, we need more people on board. Okay, boom, let's get more people in. Or, nah, forget that. I don't really want to make that big commitment. Shut it down. So it's all about outgrowing.
I hear that.
The current situation. It's like where I'm working at the moment. You know what I mean? It's a software company. I've seen the growth of that company to the point where it's now an official, fully embedded, successful startup. You know what I mean? But when I watched how my man built the thing, I mean, I've been around this guy since 2015, and where the product is today to where it was when I first met the brother. Man, I've seen it, man. Everything is a problem. Everything is okay. Boom. We need customer support. I'll just sit up all night and I'll respond to emails when people say the product's not working. Now that becomes unsustainable. I need someone else. I'm gonna have to hire someone. Just get a VA and get them to respond to the emails when they come in. Now we've got more customers. Boom. That's not sustainable. We're gonna have to hire a customer success team. Do you get what I'm saying? Boom, we've engineered the product outside of our own knowledge now. We don't know anymore. Now we need to hire an engineer, a software developer to come and build it further. It's just,
Yeah.
You grow as much as you
it's
can
just-
within your
I
means.
think it's just. I don't think everybody's business is the same like that. I just think if you know your business, then you would be able to adjust with it as time goes by. Maybe some businesses are a mad success where that kind of rush comes to them where they have to figure it out. But there's some businesses that just like, okay, then I'm going to plan for this. This is all I need to do. And once I reach there, then I know I can do this. And then I know that maybe at this certain point, I can just chill and then focus on something else in order for that side of the things to build. And then you can keep that momentum going. But I guess it's just everybody just has a different business kind of way. Because some, like you said, some businesses will just come and just smash it. And it's like, oh shit, this is a different scenario, different situation.
Fire!
Sound System Clothing.
Uniting fashion and music.